Hello, my name is Josh from Sonoran Gaming, and today I will be discussing our new series called 40K for Beginners. Now, the first section I will be talking about is the Tools of War. The first thing that you'll need will be the big rulebook. Now, this contains the basic and advanced rules for the game, some Eternal War and Maelstrom of War missions, a list of the detachments, and a lot of lore for 40K. You will also need the codex for your specific army. Now, this will have the lore for your army, some recommended paint schemes, your data sheets, your rules, your relics, your psychic powers, your stratagems, and your Maelstrom of War objectives. You will also need the data cards, which will have your stratagems, psychic powers, and Maelstrom of War objectives. Now, the reason that I recommend the data cards is because it makes it so much easier during the game when you have the cards. You are going to need a tape measure. However, I would recommend against the GW tape measure because it is really overpriced for what you get. You're going to need some D12s and D20s as wound counters for your vehicles, your monstrous creatures, and your super heavies. You will also need a ton of D6s. I would recommend 20 plus. Next, we'll be discussing data sheets and how to read them. The first thing you will see when you look at data sheets will be the name of the unit. This is important to note as certain ways of playing limit the data sheet by the unit name. Next is the battlefield role. The battlefield role determines what type of unit it is considered, such as HQ, elites, or troops. Next is power level. Some ways of playing use power levels to build armies. Next is the unit profile. The unit profile has the name of the different members in the squad, if there are more than one. M stands for movement, and this determines how far you can move. WS stands for weapon skill. Weapon skill determines how easy it is for you to hit in close combat. BS stands for ballistic skill. Ballistic skill determines how accurate you are while shooting a ranged weapon. S stands for strength. Strength is how easy it is to wound in close combat. T stands for toughness. Toughness is how hard you are to wound. Now, W stands for wounds. If this ever reaches 0, the model is slain. A is short for attacks. This is how many dice you will roll in the close combat phase. LD stands for leadership. You will use this in the morale phase. SV is your armor save. This is the dice roll that you will need to determine if you have saved a wound. Unit composition will determine the number of models you can have in the unit and what they are armed with. Warrior section will have all the options you can take. Abilities section is where you will see all the special rules for the unit you are looking at and what they do. Faction keywords will determine what units you can take together. General keywords shows what specific keywords the model has. Some of these will be used for specific stratagems or other reasons. This has been 40K for Beginners by Sonoran Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell button.